Hi guys, it's me, just Lincoln again, and for this video I want to dedicate to the month of Halloween, October in 2025. I like to go back to the old classic monster movies. In particular, I would like to talk about Godzilla, or Godzilla for the hardcore fans. In this case, I want to talk about the movie called the 1971 movie called Godzilla vs. Hedorah, or Hedorah, whichever you prefer, or in what sometimes you might call him the smug monster. Now, this movie is really special to me, at least, because of the messaging behind it. Besides being the allegorical monster of nuclear war and nuclear weapons, it's also got more of another good opinion about pollution. And this is well before Captain Planet and the Planeteers, an underrated show in my opinion. But we'll talk about it some other day. So right now we're talking about the smug monster himself. And whenever I think of the term smug monster, I always think about one of two things. Number one, I think of the monster from Pikmin 1 that you need to go to. I forgot what level name is called, but it's level 4, I remember that. And there's a special egg where if you break it open, deformed another one of the monsters comes out that's deformed from the game, and that thing will kill any Pikmin or Olimar if you touch it. So that's pretty toxic. So I would consider it a smug monster. I don't know what the name is, but it's pretty close to what you think of a smug monster. Also, this movie comes out like 2 decades before the movie Fahrenheit, The Last Rainforest, in which you get the deliciously savage monster known as Hexus. But I would love for this monster thing to sing the song Toxic Love. Now that would be something special. That'd be number 2 reference. Hexus. I'm sure you could probably think of other creations / monsters that embody toxicity and poison, like Muck from the Pokemon series, or Grimer, its pre-evolution, etc. But this movie is rather interesting because it came right at the beginning during the 70s when the environment and pollution became a big topic around the world. And how do we solve pollution? With a gigantic radioactive monster that shoots atomic breath out of its mouth. Unfortunately, it's not that easy, because I think that there was a proposal to nuke all of our garbage a lot better than sending it out into space in a giant asteroid, man-made asteroid, but that's the topic for a different day. But either or burning it up in Earth's core, or putting it into an active volcano to destroy all, which I'm sure will probably lead to releasing dangerous chemicals into the environment, into the atmosphere. So that's a no-go for that one. But this movie is quite interesting because like I said, we're doing the 70s, so what was very popular back then. But disco, of course, with this and disco balls and everything else. That was real popular. Now, I can't say, for example, how popular the disco trend was in Japan, or the fashion trend of Japan during the 70s. But if you want anything to go on, I would say that 60s and 70s fashion was pretty much identical to what you would see in America, in Europe at the time. Very, very quality and very flashy and, in my opinion, stupid. My father would take a kick at it though, with a little bit of problems with everything else. Which is really funny, because in this movie they show like something go on like a disco nightclub, which again, I don't know how popular that was in Japan, but it was very, very funny to me to see all that in Japanese. And I believe that the music was in Japanese as well, so imagine seeing live in Japanese before the movie Bullet Train made it popular. So anyway, that was very cute nostalgia trip before my time, so don't even ask. And that was really fun. But then you got the smug monster himself, Hedorah, which basically interrupts Godzilla in his stomping and that kind of thing, and destroying the city, because I'm sure that when Godzilla sees another monster right with him mark, he probably says to himself, "This is my territory. Nobody's gonna crush the world in the sea except me, Kakarot." So he decides to beat this monster to pulp when it doesn't heed his warning of back off, man. This is my territory, my turf. Go find your own place to smash up. And I'm not sure, but I think that the famous pagoda that is destroyed in every Godzilla movie up until a certain year is destroyed in this one too, I think. So anyway, the scientists on the Japanese island, wherever that may be, are like, Godzilla is a whole beast of a monster and stuff, but at least he's on our side. He wants to team up with us to fight against the evil of pollution, which is good, because man-made pollution is very, very horrible. Unfortunately, the trend is not gonna go away, despite the Republicans wanting to disappear it altogether and say that it's all hoax and all this other junk too. So anyway, we get like a round 1 and round 2 of the small monster versus the big G himself. And at first, I believe that the small monster won against Godzilla in a fair fight, but then Godzilla got his second wind and fought the common enemy again. And I love the way he portrayed the small monster Hedorah as getting away, because pollution is still a big issue, and not one solution to get rid of it altogether outright. So that's a nice little lesson learned that any kind of one solution thing can get rid of all the world's pollution. And second of all, this monster can actually shapeshift. For the most part, it looks like a big giant oil spill. Big silky oil spill with big glowing eyes and big, I guess tentacles, you could say. So, the hentai scripts write themselves. But in any case, it looks like a big giant octopus or a big oil spill that moves around and stuff. But at times it can shapeshift to look more like a UFO type thing with eyeballs, which is really cool. Now, also, you can analyze this as saying that pollution around the world takes many forms. You got smog, you got water pollution, you got physical trash, you got everything else in it, and that's the basic rundown of the forms. You can take on nuclear waste, you can take on, sludge, for example, or poison, rain coming down like each rain, slime beneath me, and slime up above. So, basically, I'm trying to say that this smog monster is, indicative of pollution not just in Japan, but around the entire world. So, it's also kind of nice to see a thing that early on in the 70s. And granted, the movie is really stupid. I mean, it's kind of dumb seeing all the things in it, but it can be a very symbolic movie if you know how to look at it. Now, another thing that would kind of bother me is that when you have a big gooey monster like this, like say for example like Super Boo from Dragon Ball Z, or any type of regenerative blob creature like the blob or anything like that, the question always arises if let's say if a large chunk of it gets separated from the main body, like in the fight against Hedorah, if that particular piece can become sentient on its own and start attacking people, or Godzilla on its own, that's a good question. And I think that if Super Boo took advantage of that, you would have no problem with taking him and anybody else. Like for example, if Kid Boo, for example, were to see a big giant spirit bomb coming at him from Goku and some of the other people, if he took a piece of his antenna or something and then just chucked it far away from where the action was, and that piece would become another Kid Boo on its own, and while the main one was being destroyed and disintegrated, if that little piece could grow up to become a Kid Boo itself and then destroy the heroes, that would have been something special. But as far as this movie is concerned, that doesn't happen, because I would imagine that animating a separate monster like that would be kind of difficult to do. Pain in the ass not to animate another, like, almost like claymation type monster of a human scale, because the person in the Godzilla suit is a human-sized person in a suit, and everything else is miniaturized. So to animate a claymation type figurine or a human-sized person with tentacles and such would be kind of difficult, especially if it were like meant to be a smaller version of the big guy itself. So anyway, the movie shows that this thing is defeated but not destroyed. Like with the environment, like we have pollution problems and other issues around the world that can't be solved with a simple nuclear blast or like one simple solution. it would take time and many years and much effort to destroy it altogether outright. Much like the spawn monster, like you can't shoot a gun or shoot like a missile launcher or something at it and then hope it will go away right 100%. As in the case of Godzilla. If you ask me, I think Godzilla, although powerful, he's too not intelligent enough to take care of himself. He's more like a brute force of nature to be able to think properly in that regard, to think of long-term things of that nature. But I like Hedorah. I think Hedorah deserves more love as being of the world's pollution problem. And of all the lower grade, Godzilla movies, I would say that Godzilla vs. Hedorah, it's actually pretty good. It's like one of the top tiers in the lower echelon of the Godzilla movies, I think. Unfortunately, no one really gives that much love. I don't know what era it's in right now, but I think that it's like relatively close to the original Godzilla in era. And because it's not too far off from the original movie. I want to see the original movie came out in 64, I believe, or 54, maybe 54. I'm gonna say 54 for a $100,000 pot. So there's that, and it came pretty close to there. So you could tell that since the original Godzilla was like an allegory for nuclear weapons, nuclear war, the destruction that unchecked power can cause. This movie actually represents what unchecked power and unchecked destruction can bring about by unwanted, unchecked pollution creation. It's like a pretty good thing for a 1971 film to get across. Not too preachy, but yet lots of carnage and destruction, which is what we want to see in a Godzilla movie. Anyway, I thank you for watching my little video about Godzilla vs. Hedorah, or the smog monster. Not smog, but just smog, like puff of smoke. And by the way, there is no smoke with the smog monster for some reason. Like I said, maybe a challenge to animate that, because everything about the smog monster looks pretty solid. It looks like a big shell type of thing, like a hard oil or hard lava burst or something, lava tube. So I did this for Halloween, for the month of Halloween 2025, October. Now, I think that this movie could very well be a thing for an environmental thing like Earth Day or something like that. But because they're both monsters, when that represents nuclear war and the destruction thereof, and the other represents environmental damage brought by man-made pollution, I think it's safe to say that this could fit into the fear aspect for many people, and therefore Halloween month. So I would like to give this my happy face silver pool, because I like the fact that Godzilla fights against pollution with humanity. I don't know how many movies there were where they have humanity and Godzilla fighting against the same enemy, but I'm sure that Godzilla was thinking about the idea of fighting pollution. I think he was just thinking about seeing another monster roaming into his territory, saying, "I don't want to start Toy Story, but get out, or else I'm gonna blast your podcast right back to the Stone Age where you belong." If you like what you see here, you want to see more of my stuff on my channel, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. You can also contact me for future information on my stuff by calling me or texting me at 631-707-3707. And if you want, you can follow me on Twitter or X, if you prefer to call that, at PMaelstrom Pro. Also, my email is jjsviewingchannel@gmail.com. So, I salute all you Planeteers out there, and I would like to say, hoot hoot, don't pollute. Peace out, everyone. And I'll see you in the next video, all you girls and guys in the land. Sayonara, Avlovitsa, ciao ciao, and arrivederci.